After being defeated by Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar and firmly falling under the grasp of Darth Sidious, Darth Vader was forcibly placed into a horribly painful suit of black armor. This was done mainly to keep Vader alive, but it also held him back in many ways like force powers, lightsaber combat, and basic connection to the dark side. So why did Darth Vader never upgrade his suit? Well, there are a few reasons for this, and some of them might shock you. So before we get started, hit that Sith subscribe button down below, and let's get into it. In the days following Vader being entombed in his new suit, the Sith Lord quickly realized that life was never going to be the same. Vader was forced to endure everlasting pain which seared and burned for every waking moment of his life. He would never again feel the joy of eating a Mon Calamari soup or a Colo Claw Fish dinner from the oceans of Naboo. On top of that, he had wires and tubes protruding through every organ in his body, providing him with the nutrients and energy needed to operate. Vader even had his entire throat replaced with a droid like vocoder to restore his voice and allow him to give commands. Most devastating of all though was that he had to modify his extremely powerful lightsaber combat style to something more refined and stilted. Obviously, he didn't possess the same range of motion as Anakin Skywalker did outside of the suit. He wasn't even able to use the singular ability that most Sith revere and use to great effect, Sith Lightning. Vader couldn't even get a proper night's sleep because of the fluids constantly pumping around his body and the excruciatingly loud sounds of his respirator every time he took a breath. For the man who was once the chosen one, it was almost like he never left the hellscape of Mustafar. Only now he had absolutely nothing left. Now, these horrendous conditions within Vader's suit were no accident. Palpatine specifically designed the suit to both make Vader feel pain so that he could channel the dark side, but also to limit his power. If Vader was able to access his full potential and immerse himself completely in the Force, he would have no trouble overthrowing Palpatine. So for that reason, Vader's suit kept him in a constant state of weakness, but also brought out his full range of anger and pain. The suit did nothing more than absolutely necessary and was purposefully misaligned so that its metal innards would scrape and tear at Vader's already charred skin. If that wasn't enough, Palpatine also made sure that the suit had a horrible weight distribution with extremely heavy plating in the boots, basically rooting the Dark Lord of the Sith to the floor and a misaligned spine, permanently tilting Vader slightly forward. This made it so that his lightsaber strikes packed less of a punch and always put him at the risk of toppling over, which did happen many times in the comics. If you want to see some examples of that, just click my channel and you'll see plenty in the comics. In the following years, Sidious gave his apprentice audio sensors because his eardrums were melted by the lava on Mustafar. The problem is that these audio sensors couldn't tell the difference between ambient noise, nearby noise, or faraway sounds, making them all blur together. This was a constant dampener on Vader's mind, and he often recounted feeling like he was trying to talk underwater. So now that you get the picture of how horrific and soul-crushing Darth Vader's suit really was, that leaves us with one major question that we're all asking. Why in the name of Mon Cala did he never attempt to upgrade or get a new suit? Well, there are multiple reasons, and they're all connected. In fact, Vader did actually do some minor upgrades on his suit, such as tightening his cybernetic arms for better weight distribution, or realigning his legs to increase movement speed, but other than that, he simply refused to do any more upgrades. Reason number one was because it was simply too dangerous. Surprisingly, Vader was handed the opportunity to upgrade his suit in a major way. This happened in the days right after the Battle of Yavin and the destruction of the Death Star by Luke Skywalker. Palpatine, as you can guess, was absolutely furious at Vader for being unable to defend the orbital battle station and was beginning to wonder if he was even strong enough to serve as his enforcer. At that point, Palpatine thought he might have gone too far in weakening his apprentice. The Sith Master and apprentice of course had no clue that it was actually Skywalker's own son behind the destruction of the Death Star, but regardless, something had to change. So Palpatine decided it was time to unleash Vader's full potential, or so he hoped. The new suit would turn him into the literal embodiment of a killing machine, giving him the ability to finally control Force lightning, making him many times faster and giving him the agility of a Nexu. In fact, this new suit that Vader was offered would restore his movement and abilities back to nearly the same level as his Anakin Skywalker form before Mustafar. The new suit was fully built and ready to transfer the Sith Lord into, but he refused once he heard the risks of the process. He was told that there was a very large chance of him dying while his breathing system was being switched over. On top of that, Vader would have to be completely rewired with everything from his lungs to his ears to his arms being switched over at the exact same time. Such a shock to the system was too high of a risk for the new Sith Lord to take, despite the agility and strength that it might restore to him. In a way, Vader was too scared to attempt the upgrade for fear of dying. The one thing that has haunted Vader since he became Vader. Reason number two is that Palpatine would simply never allow him to gain such a powerful upgrade. When Anakin Skywalker was chopped to bits by Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar, Palpatine was both irate and furious, but also sort of relieved. He was angry that his chosen apprentice, the man he literally shelved Count Dooku and Maul for, was now nothing but a stump, but also happy that he wouldn't pose a threat. If Vader had taken the new suit, Palpatine feared that he may become an unstoppable war machine with no limit to his power. Now, reason number 3 is honestly pretty sad and touching, but it involved his connection to Padme and what he had done in his previous life as Anakin Skywalker. Vader took his suit as a consistent reminder of what he had done to get to this point and how deep into the dark side he had gone. He viewed the suit almost as a sacrifice that he must make in the pursuit of bringing Padme back from the dead. If she had to die, then he had to suffer for every living, breathing moment of his life until he managed to bring her back. He literally scoured every possible corner of the galaxy for old Jedi, Sith, and even Grey artifacts, looking for the key to save her. He even tore up his own planet of Mustafar to gain access to an ancient artifact known as the Bright Star, which he believed was the key to immortality and bringing Padme back. For him to accept an upgrade to his suit would be a horrible betrayal of Padme in his eyes. Vader believed that it was Anakin Skywalker who failed Padme and that Darth Vader was the one who would bring her back. As a result of this, he couldn't allow any inkling of his old self to creep back in. Any easing of the pain and suffering would bring him closer to the light and closer to his old self. This could not be allowed because it would bring back the guilt and shame of his biggest failure. He was of course wrong about all of this, but at the same time, his mind couldn't come to any other conclusion. The story of Anakin Skywalker truly is one of the saddest descents ever. Let me know in the comments how you think the Star Wars galaxy would be changed if Vader decided to accept the upgrade and increased his power by untold amounts. Would he overthrow Palpatine to become the Emperor, or would he serve as the unshakably loyal attack dog of Sidious? Both options are equally as scary. Now, the fourth and final reason that Vader didn't upgrade his suit is another somber one. For the first 5 years or so inside of the metal sarcophagus, Vader absolutely hated every second of his existence. Every part of his body was a hindrance to him, and every action he wanted to take was blocked in some way by the suit. But as the years went on, something changed within the Dark Lord. He began to feel attachment to the suit and it became sentimental to him. He also enjoyed being inside of the suit almost as a refuge from the outside world. He was able to turn off all of his outside receptors and completely cut himself off from everything but his own thoughts and the dark side of the Force. This allowed him to enter intense dark side meditation and truly bring out the strongest powers he could conjure. In a way, it turned from only a physical defense from lightsabers and the outside world to a more mental one. It shielded him from the immense emotion and pain that the real world bombarded him with every day. Anakin is truly the most tragic character to walk the face of the galaxy, and half of the galaxy didn't even know it. From the young knight sitting on the prestigious Jedi Council to a mechanical beast roaming the galaxy in pain, sorrow, and regret. When you look at it, there are so many individual moments where things could have gone differently. So many times where the Jedi Order pushed Anakin further than he ever should have gone. So many times where Obi-Wan could have pulled Anakin back, but didn't. If things went just even slightly differently, Anakin would have never ended up in the suit at all. But hey, maybe that was the fate of the Chosen One all along. So that is the full story behind why Darth Vader never upgraded his suit. Do you think he made the right decision, or was he blinded by his rage and fury? I'll pass that one off to you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it this far, you're a legend, and say thank Mr. Skywalker.